hereby call to order the Roseville City Council meeting for Monday, May 18th, 2026. Mr. City Manager, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Groff.
Here.
Councilmember Bauer.
Here.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Here.
Councilmember Strawn. Mayor Rowe.
Here. And Councilmember Strawn indicated prior to the meeting that she was not able to attend this evening. I should take a moment to give folks a little bit of a heads up as to some of the logistics of council meetings. If it's your first time here, we do have a copy of the agenda for tonight's meeting on the back table, hopefully enough to share if anybody wants to follow along with the meeting. That back table is right by the back door under the clock. We also do have a complete set of all the meeting materials that are before the council this evening for people in the public to share on the table. It's in a big binder back there in the same place. We would remind folks, if you have a cell phone, to make sure that it is either off or otherwise not going to disrupt the meeting this evening. We can go into what the rules are for public comment as we come to that, so maybe at this point we'll go ahead and move on with our meeting and ask folks to stand, if you're able, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, next on tonight's agenda is for the council to approve the agenda. I'll check first with Mr. Trudgeon from a staff perspective. Are there any changes that need to be made to the agenda this evening?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, item 7B, which was to consider a request to perform an abatement for unresolved violations of the city code at 648 Iona Lane, can be removed from the agenda. All the violations were corrected as of this afternoon, so there's no need for further action tonight by the council.
All right, that was item 7B under business items. Any other changes from a staff perspective?
There is not, Mr. Mayor.
All right, then from a council perspective, any items that the council would like changed on the agenda or items that council members might like removed from the consent agenda for separate consideration this evening?
Move approval of the agenda.
Second.
All right, and we're jumping right into approve the agenda. A motion from Councilmember Groff, second from Councilmember Bauer to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed. That passes unanimously 4-0. We have our agenda for this evening. I do also want to take a moment before we proceed with the agenda to make a couple of introductions that I forgot, and that is our City Attorney, Rachel Tierney, who's on my right at the end of the dais, and our City Manager, Pat Trudgeon, who's on my left at the other end. Next on our agenda, then, we will go to general public comment. So as we consider agenda items this evening, we'll have opportunities for public comment on those particular agenda items. But by council rule, we always do start our meetings with an opportunity for general public comment on items that either relate to city business or are of interest to people in the community. The rules for public comment, as always, are a 3-minute time limit per speaker. We do ask that folks address their comments or questions to the council. If we're not able to answer a question at the time, we may have to provide some follow-up. We ask that the comments be generally civil in nature. I shouldn't have to say that, but just in case. And we ask that you start your comments with your name and street or address so that that can be recorded in the record. I see a commenter ready to go. Hello and welcome.
Roger Hess, Wagner Place. It's nice to see some people here for once. Anyway, it looks like, as far as I know, in June 15th, you guys are going to approve the preliminary plans for the Public Works and License Center. And I hope that before that happens, that you will have an open house where members of the public can see the plans and make comments about them and ask questions. And I hope that somehow you're incorporating some storage space for the Roseville youth activities, which they lost when Fairview was tore down. And I really hope you consider changing the dance studio to a black box theater with the dance studio, rather than having just a few people use it part of the year. Then everybody could use it throughout the year for pretty much the same amount of money. So I'm just hoping that those things happen. And also, I hope you do something with your Constitution Monument before July 4th. It really needs some work.
It does indeed.
Thank you.
Great. Is there anyone else here this evening for general public comment? We can always pull up a chair if we need a third seat. All right. Hello and welcome. You're going to have to, it looks like.
Well, good evening. Etienne Javi. I live on Sharon Street West. I'm here as representative of the Juneteenth Planning Committee. And Yolanda?
Yolanda Pearson, President and CEO of the Minnesota Black Chamber of Commerce. We're located at 401 Robert Street in St. Paul.
Rick Sanders, Roseville resident, McCarran Street, Boulevard, I'm sorry. Haven't been here in a while, I'm nervous.
Take a breath.
Well, so we came here tonight to, first of all, inform everyone in the city that on June 13, 2026, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., we will be celebrating Juneteenth. This will be the 8th time that we're doing this in the city. Over the years, we have noticed that it's increasing in popularity with people coming from all over the place to be here. Wanted to take the opportunity to thank the city for the partnership, your relentless support to making this become what it has become over the years is really important to us. And we would like to take also the opportunity to have the mayor be part of the welcoming ceremony, to say your word, leadership in the city, welcoming people to be part of it. And everyone in the city is advised to come, welcome to be there. We intend to make this event an event where everyone is welcome as a really one integrated community.
The Minnesota Black Chamber is honored to partner with the Roseville Juneteenth Committee to bring this event to the city for the 8th year. It's an opportunity for us to have community engagement as well as bring entrepreneurs, local small businesses to Roseville to highlight their products and services. It's an opportunity for integration with all ages, all demographics. We'll have something there for everyone. And so it's a good opportunity from a community standpoint for us to take over from Do Good Roseville in collaboration with the Roseville Juneteenth. So thank you all for your continued support.
And once again, we would like to offer for each and every one of you to come, also all the people in Roseville to show up, because this is something very special to us. It's from our hearts. We love doing this. It's a lot of work, but we pull through every year. And like we said, this is our 8th year doing this. It started out with a bunch of people having hot dogs in the park and talking about freedom, and it's grown to such a great thing. So please, if you can come, just for an hour, there's free food, there's sodas, there's anything you want to do, music, we're going to have a good time. So come on out.
All right, and that was on June 13th.
June 13th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Central Park of Lexington.
All right, we'll look
Yeah.
forward to being there.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
This evening. All right, is there any other general public comment this evening? All right. Then we'll proceed with our agenda, and the next items on our agenda involve recognitions and other communications. And I believe our first recognition this evening is a recognition, well, I don't believe it, I know it, is a recognition of the Roseville Area High School Fire Bears robotics team. And I understand we'll have a representative of the team come up and make some introductions and possibly introduce the video for us. So feel free to come up and have a seat and make those introductions.
I'll stand if you don't mind. It's like-
No, seating is better so that the mics pick you up.
yeah.
Mike, pick
We
up.
want the folks at home to hear you.
Okay. All right. So I'm Don Seaford. I'm one of the head coaches or lead mentors for the Roseville Fire Bears high school robotics team. I have some other coaches, mentors, parents, and some of my students here with. And so we'd like to first let people know what robotics is about. We're part of FIRST, which stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. It is an organization created to promote more students to go into STEM careers. We have a shortage of engineers, scientists, programmers in this country. Technology is what's driving our country, and we think people aspire to be what we celebrate. And we celebrate athletes, actors, musicians. We want to celebrate engineers, programmers. So they created this as an active sport that's fun. It has announcers, we have MCs, we have mascots, we have cheering. So, and we have a lot of fun. So every year there's a new challenge. They have to build a new robot that does a completely different set of tasks. And they only have 2 months to build it. So they have to design it, build it, program it, practice driving it, and then go compete with it. This year our first competition was in Duluth. There was quite a few teams there. There were 84 teams there, broken into 2 different separate events. We finished 3rd in our event, which was very good for the first week. Our second competition was at the University of Minnesota. We also finished 3rd at that event. That qualified us to go to the World Championships in Houston, which we went to about a week and a half ago. And there were the 600 best teams in the entire world. There's about 4,000 teams worldwide. It's not just a U.S. thing. They break it into 8 different subdivisions of 75 teams. We finished 34th out of 75 teams in our division, slightly above average with all the exceptional teams. We're proud of that. This last weekend, we competed at the Minnesota State High School League State Robotics Championship, where we finished 12th. There is 194 robotics teams, high school varsity robotics teams in Minnesota, and we finished 12th. So we had a good season. We have a great crew. I think a good number of our students will go on to be in STEM careers. We have people that aspire to be anywhere from an astrophysicist to a computer programmer to anything along the way. We also have to raise money to support the program. We're supported pretty much 100% through grants and sponsorships from corporations. Roseville's been very good to us in that. We do raise some money by hosting a few tournaments at Roseville Area High School. I encourage people to come see those in October. And I would like to let Dylan, one of our team captains, talk about what our team goals are.
So on the Fire Bears, one of our primary goals is to see the diversity in our school represented in our team. And so that just means, increasing the amount of underrepresented groups we see in STEM on our team. And so far this season, we have started the RISE event, which is Robotics Inspires and Supports Everyone, which we host at our school. And this year it was targeted towards female and non-binary students. And so the drive team, which are the people that drive the robot, had to be completely female or non-binary to help, spotlight them in STEM and help them feel more integrated and comfortable in the teams. And we have also given presentations at 2 off-season events about increasing LGBTQ and neurodivergent awareness and support on teams. And even at our world competition, we were a guest speaker to talk about neurodivergence on robotics teams. And all of that is to go to supporting these students that need better representation in STEM fields.
Yes, females are far underrepresented in STEM fields, and we are working to try to change that. So it should be 50%, and it's nowhere near that. And so that's been a goal of ours to try to raise that percentage. And same thing with minority students. We want to try to bring them up. So what I'd like to do is play a video so you could see. Here's the actual robot we competed with. And so I want to play a video. He's going to kick it off. We'll play a video so you see what this does in action. There's not quite enough room in here for us to do what this is going to do, but you'll see what a game looks like. Okay, so this audio isn't playing through. There will be the 3 on the blue team versus 3 on the red team. So think of like a basketball game but this is 3 versus 3. The object is to score these yellow balls into the goals, the hub in the center part there, and the team that scores the most points obviously wins the match. The first 20 seconds, which it's doing right now, these robots are driving themselves. There's nobody at the controls of these. And now it's pausing. Now they're grabbing hold of the joysticks, and the students are operating these. They had to program these robots to do complex tasks completely autonomously. And now, even as they're shooting, most of them, the aiming of the balls is done by the robot itself. It has cameras in it that knows where it's at and picks up where the goals are and shoots it. That's why it's able to shoot at such a rapid rate. Some of them are just relaying balls over to their side of the field in preparation to score them. Other ones, like what you see on the red side, are right now scoring in there. Now the blue is starting to score. You see at the rapid rate that they're able to do this. There's robots. Our robot can score about 7 balls per second in this match. And this match only lasts 2.5 minutes, and they'll score over 500 balls in 2.5 minutes. So, and again, high school kids built this in less than 2 months and did all the programming and are currently operating them. So we're really proud of this. This is what makes STEM fun and encourage people that you can do cool stuff. There will be, there's an innovation fair there with colleges recruiting students. There's companies recruiting students for internships. Besides just a competition, there's opportunity to help them move into college and progress as a career. There will be other speakers there that were students on a robotics team that went to college, now come back as mentors or professionals that talk to the students and can say, I did it, you can do it too. So that's really a core of what robotics does. It's a lot of fun, it's a lot of work, it's really challenging, and we're just winding down our season now. So if anybody wants to see any of it, you can see these are the actual game elements that we have to shoot. They're kind of a stiff foam ball. We have some spare parts that we could show. Or does anybody have any questions about the robotics team and what we do?
You were the blue team, right? So
We're on the blue
Yeah.
team on this one. We're
Winning.
2846. So you see on the scoreboards it has the 3 blue teams and our robot. Well, that match just ended. Yeah, we're the blue team, and you'll see the final score will come up here in a minute. There's a few that were still hadn't been counted when the clock hit 0. So here, our team won this match, and 511 to 325.
Well done.
So that was what we did. Anybody have any questions about robotics?
Or where do we begin?
Kind of, yes.
Well, just speaking as a person in the STEM fields, in my day job, I am fully supportive of all your efforts, especially to involve people who aren't traditionally in those fields and people who may not know that this is something that could be interesting and fun to do. And so I've been a supporter of the Fire Bears for a long time because of all that. And I can only say that when I was in high school, all the robots were welding cars together in Detroit. So things have evolved a lot since then. Wish I could have had that. But no, congratulations on all the success you've had this year and over the years, and look forward to continued success. And I think we're actually looking to maybe do a quick picture here with the council, if that's all right with everyone.
Sure.
So we'll take just a quick break. We'll probably try to gather right in front of the dais here, and we'll head over to the front.
This side over here. Where the light is. Where the lights are.
all right.
You guys have a website?
Yes.
Social media?
Congratulations.
Firebears.org.
Nice. Well, it's good to see it though. Yes.
I might say that it doesn't work is in the calendar.
And for those watching at home, the question was asked if the Fire Bears have a website, firebears.org, if I remember correctly. And I know I follow them on Facebook, so they're at least there, and probably elsewhere on the social media. So please follow the Fire Bears and support their efforts if you can in the public. And once again, congratulations. Thanks for being here this evening.
Yes, congratulations. It was really cool to see what you guys put together, and the video was really entertaining, so thank you. And I wanted to make sure the website was out there in case the people at home also wanted to see it. Or I assume that's also a place in case for fundraising too? Okay. All right.
There's a donation link on it.
Yeah, I put a
Perfect.
plug in for you there.
There we go. All right, well, thank you again for
Thank
being
you.
here. All right, that brings us then to our second recognition this evening, and we have a number of folks who've been volunteering for the city for a number of years, a period of time, and we want to recognize them because they're cycling off their volunteer commissions this year. So I'll turn it over to our Assistant City Manager, Rebecca Olson, to make the presentation on who is leaving service to the city this year.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, Council. Tonight we get to continue this feel-good opportunity. So tonight we will be recognizing, as you said, the outgoing commissioners and thanking them for their service to the Roseville community. I think a couple of them might be here tonight, but regardless, we want to make sure that we recognize them for all that they've done. And we will be sending them each a signed certificate of our appreciation. So commissioner service, as you all know, is one of the toughest volunteers roles. It requires a lot of ongoing commitment. We have term lengths of about 3 years, and those a lot of commissioners serve more than one term. It also requires additional work outside of commission meetings often, and a lot of behind-the-scenes work that help bring recommendations forward to you, provide advice on issues, and serve as the ears of the community for the City Council. So each of these commissioners that we're going to recognize tonight has really distinguished themselves as a steward, not only of our organization, but also of our community. And they've each given their time and their knowledge and their resources really to just continuously help us improve our community. As you see here, we've had 42 volunteer commissioners across 6 different city commissioners. And per term, they average about 75 hours that they contribute to us. And we have 7 that will not be returning in 2026. The term limits run through end of March. So the city's Finance Commission provides advice to the City Council on short and long-term financial policy matters and reviews annual financial information. Tonight, we're recognizing 2 outgoing commissioners, Siafa Barclay, who was appointed in 2020, and Bruce Bester, who was also appointed in 2020. The city's Equity and Inclusion Commission advises the City Council on matters of equity and inclusion. They provide feedback on various projects and policies that help us build an equitable and inclusive community. And tonight we're recognizing 1 commissioner, Alfred Chan, who was appointed in 2024. Also on this slide is our city's Planning Commission, and they identify and address issues concerning development plans, policies, and specific land use applications. We're recognizing 2 outgoing commissioners, John Barstad, who was appointed in 2025, and Tam McGehee, who was also appointed in 2019. And finally, the city's Public Works, Environment, and Transportation Commission, or PWET, advises the City Council and the Director of Public Works on different public works, environmental, and transportation matters. And 2 commissioners are receiving this recognition this evening. Jared Sicha, I believe I said that right, who was appointed in 2020, and Des Mueller, who was appointed in 2023. So each of these commissioners have put in a lot of hours of their time and provided input and advice to both staff and the City Council, and we just wanted to say thank you for sharing your time and talent with us and the community.
Great, thank you, Ms. Olson. And I'll add the council's thanks. We appoint these representatives of the community to serve, as was noted in Ms. Olson's presentation, as really the eyes and ears, in addition to our own, to bring issues and advice to the council to help our decision making. And it is a lot of work. And unlike us, who just make tons and tons of money at these jobs, our volunteer commissioners are unpaid and give of their time and their service to the community. So it is very much appreciated. And I believe I saw at least one commissioner who's here this evening. If you want to come up, I can give you your certificate and we can all recognize you.
Absolutely. You can go up and get a picture then?
Can do that. Here you go. All right.
Bruce, thank you for all your hard work. Really appreciate all you've done.
Thank you for everything you've done.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Bruce.
Appreciate your work.
Were there any other commissioners who are here this evening?
Anytime.
All right.
I'd like to make anything.
We should do a round of applause for all of our commissioners for all their service to the community. Bruce will absorb and reflect that back to all of the other commissioners who aren't here this evening. All right, thank you.
I'd like to also note that we have youth commissioners as well.
Yes.
Since we have so many high schools, so that's an opportunity for youth to be high school students. I do know that we have some high school students rolling off as they will be attending college here shortly. If you are interested in that, do look at the website or contact
Ms. Olson?
Miss Olson, I should say. Yes.
Perhaps
if you're interested.
this evening you could contact
This evening's
us.
event.
She'd be happy
So
to help.
if you're interested or your friend's interested, it's a great opportunity. You learn a lot about how the city works, and we have opportunities on all commissions.
And those terms for youth commissioners are essentially 1 year, 1 school year long. And so you can, I think you get kind of connected with it early in the calendar year and then serve through a school year, essentially. I don't know, did we give a round of applause to the Fire Bears? I don't think we did. We better make sure and do that as well. So let's do that. Is there anyone else here this evening that would like a round of applause? Well, again, thanks to everyone. It's always fun to do these recognitions. We will take a few minutes if folks do want to leave and go on with your lives rather than staying through the rest of the meeting. That is certainly your option. So we'll take just a few minutes to allow folks to do that.
Not you.
Yeah, we're still here.
You want some water?
Yeah.
I like your idea. I was thinking water. See where your mind is.
Plus to escort the robot.
Congratulations again.
Is it harder to drive the cart or the robot?
I think pulling it was.
It's a toss-up.
Yeah. It's all part of that STEM training.
Nice to see how many have been in their club.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
All right, we'll resume after that short break here and proceed with our agenda. We do have a couple of other items under recognitions this evening, and those are proclamations. And so we'll begin with our first proclamation, which is in regard to LGBTQIA+ Pride Month. I'll read the proclamation, and then a motion to approve from the council would be in order. The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas the City of Roseville supports the LGBTQIA+ community and honors their many contributions to the health of the city and remains committed to treating all people with fairness and respect. And whereas in 1993, Minnesota became the first state in the nation to outlaw both sexual orientation and gender discrimination in the field of employment, housing, and public accommodations. And whereas in 2013, the state of Minnesota legalized same-sex marriage. And whereas in 2021, the City of Roseville became the 9th municipality in Minnesota to ban the practice of conversion therapy on LGBTQIA+ youth and vulnerable adults, practice now banned by the state of Minnesota as of 2023. And whereas Roseville continues the tradition for communities across America to recognize their LGBTQIA+, which stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, and ally residents during the month of June, and recognizes the plus to symbolize the inclusion of all identities. And whereas the LGBTQIA plus people, as the rainbow flag symbolizes, come from every group, religion, ethnicity, age, occupation, ability and disability, and size and shape. And whereas members of the Roseville LGBTQIA plus community have always served as valuable members of our country in every capacity, as homeowners, taxpayers, members of the military, business owners, parents, and employees, among others. And whereas it is important to recognize that we are all part of the same community, and whereas LGBTQIA plus residents have enriched the diverse community of Roseville through their participation in city government, the arts, religious and civil institutions, education, and community organizations, and whereas the city of Roseville believes that all people deserve to be protected from bullying, harassment, discrimination, and health disparities, and convey a clear message that intolerance is not welcome in our community. And whereas the LGBTQIA plus community allies, including the Roseville area high school student groups, provide support and encouragement to Roseville youth with the assistance of school district staff and administration. And whereas the City of Roseville reaffirms our commitment to promoting full inclusion and equality for every resident of our city. Now therefore be resolved, the City of Roseville hereby declares June 2026 to be LGBTQIA plus Pride Month.
So moved.
Second.
All right, that's moved by Councilmember Groff, seconded by Councilmember Bauer to approve that proclamation. Discussion on the motion.
I just wanted to say, sometimes people wonder why we read these proclamations, but I'm old enough, as you can see from my gray hair and beard, that I remember the day when gay people were very much discriminated against. Many people feel they're accepted more now today, but with our national politics, you can see that sometimes they are not. So I think it's really important that we as a city reaffirm our values and state that people are welcome in the city of Roseville, and especially people that are in the LGBTQIA community in June.
All right, other discussion on the motion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That passes unanimously 4-0, and that proclamation is approved. The next proclamation this evening is a proclamation related to Gun Violence Awareness Day and Month in Roseville. That proclamation reads as follows. Whereas, according to an analysis of international cause of death data, Americans are 26 times more likely to die by gun homicide than people on average in 28 other high-income countries around the world. And whereas the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's data indicates that there are 120 Americans killed by gun violence every day, along with more than 200 who are shot and wounded. And on average, there are over 17,673 gun homicides in the U.S. every year. And whereas data from the CDC indicated that in 2022, the leading cause of death of children under 18 in the nation were firearms, in the nation were firearms.
I think you're reading an older version.
Yeah, we do have an updated one in the packet, so
Oh,
we must have given you
This
the
is
wrong
the one that's given to me. We have new statistics. All
That one.
right, I apologize,
Yeah,
folks.
my apologies.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
but,
that's
yeah.
all right. So that's clearly, the numbers actually, unfortunately, went up in some cases here,
Yeah.
so
I'd start over.
we'll start over. Thank you. All right, the proclamation actually reads as follows. Whereas, according to an analysis of international cause of death data, the United States citizens are 26 times more likely to die by a gun homicide than people on average in other high-income countries. And whereas the CDC's data indicates there are 130 Americans killed by gun violence every day, along with, once again, over 200 who are shot and wounded. And on average, there are over 19,263 gun homicides in the U.S. every year. And whereas data from the CDC indicated that in 2024, the leading cause of death for children under 18 in the nation was firearms, with 4,418 children dying in gun-related incidents. And whereas the analysis of CDC data shows that Black and Indigenous people and people of color are disproportionately impacted by gun violence, with Black youth 19 times more likely than white children and Latinx children dying by gun violence at 3 times the rate of white children. And whereas CDC data and hospital admission and discharge data show that Minnesota has on average 551 gun deaths and 1,174 non-fatal gun injuries every year, including 151 homicides and 583 wounded by gun assaults. And whereas Roseville experiences gun violence, including the April 5th, 2022 incident on West Lake Owasso Boulevard, in which an individual recklessly fired at surrounding homes and cars and eventually shot and wounded Roseville police officer Ryan Duxbury, who has recovered. Whereas Roseville and cities across the nation are working to end senseless gun violence with evidence-based solutions, including integration of social services and mental health support into public safety work. And whereas protecting public safety in the community is one of the city's highest responsibilities, and whereas upholding Second Amendment rights can and should go hand in hand with promoting safe and responsible gun ownership and use, including limited gun access for persons with dangerous histories. Now therefore be resolved, the City of Roseville renews its commitment to end gun violence and pledges to do all it can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to keep our community safe. And be it further resolved, the City of Roseville declares the month of June 2026 to be National Gun Violence Awareness Month, and the day of June 5th, 2026 to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day, and encourages all citizens to support efforts to prevent tragic effects of gun violence.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Councilmember Schroeder, seconded by Councilmember Groff, to approve this proclamation. Discussion of that motion. And I do want to just note in Councilmember Strawn's absence that this is an effort that Councilmember Strawn had led on the council over the last few years, and we're very appreciative of her efforts to do that. So that should be duly noted as part of this. With that, we've got the motion before us. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously 4-0, and that proclamation is approved. And now, related to something we heard about earlier this evening, we have our Juneteenth proclamation from the City of Roseville. And I'll double check this is the right one.
Should be.
All right, let me know if it isn't. All right, the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas on January 1st, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, which established that all enslaved people in Confederate states were set free. And whereas many slave owners in the state of Texas did not release their slaves, and on June 19th, 1865, General Gordon Granger and his troops entered Galveston, Texas, after the surrender of General Robert E. Lee at Appomattox, Virginia. Upon General Granger's arrival on Texas soil, he issued General Order Number 3, and whereas this order officially declared the immediate release and freedom of the remainder of the slaves located in Texas, and slaves that were forcefully held captive for almost 3 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was issued, were finally pronounced free men and free women. And whereas in 1866, black freedmen organized the first celebration of Jubilee Day on June 19th, featuring music, ethnic cuisines, prayer services, and other activities, and June 19th is now recognized as a ceremonial holiday in 47 states, with Texas being the first to declare Juneteenth a holiday in 1980. And whereas Juneteenth is a day of committed reflection that recognizes that across people and nations, historic, ongoing, structurally embedded, and government-sanctioned racial discrimination has perpetuated its impacts upon all our generations, including to this very day. And whereas the City of Roseville and its leadership strive to be intentional and accountable to identify solutions to undue harm of the legacy of racial discrimination and slavery, and whereas in June of 2017, Do Good Roseville gathered volunteers driven by the vision of creating a welcoming environment for the black community in Roseville at Lexington Park in recognition of Juneteenth, to be a community with each other and to honor and celebrate black culture, beginning a new Juneteenth tradition in Roseville. And whereas on November 7th, 2022, the Roseville City Council declared June 19th an official city-recognized holiday, and in February of 2023, Juneteenth officially became a state holiday in Minnesota. And whereas the 2026 event committee consists of volunteers committed to providing a great experience to the City of Roseville, and whereas on Saturday, June 13th, 2026, the community will gather again for the annual celebration of Juneteenth at Roseville Central Park from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., now, therefore, be resolved, the City of Roseville hereby declares June 19th, 2026 to be Juneteenth in the City of Roseville.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Groff, seconded by Councilmember Schroeder to approve that proclamation. Discussion on that motion?
I think it's good to review the history of that, and it adds a little more to the comments that were made earlier by our representatives here from the Juneteenth Committee, and look forward to it. Thank you.
Right, if there's no other discussion, all those in favor of approving that proclamation signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That passes unanimously 4-0. And we encourage everybody, once again, to attend on June 13th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Central Park. All right, with that, that brings us to, believe it or not, we have business items this evening as well, or a business item. We have one item, or two items remaining under, I guess, our Section 7, which is officially business items this evening. Item 7A is to conduct a public hearing to certify unpaid utility charges to the property tax roll. And I'll turn it over to City Manager Trudgeon to bring this item before the council.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, City Code allows us to certify delinquent payments to the city. These can include unpaid false alarm, water and sewer bills, and other charges that are exceeding 90 days. As part of that, we do allow for the property owners to come in front of you as part of a public hearing to dispute any of the charges against the property. So tonight, we do need to hold a public hearing. In the packet, you will see the delinquent charges that were 90 days or more in the packet. So we're asking for your adoption of a resolution for those charges. Those charges would then be certified at the county level and eventually paid to the city as they pay their taxes on a semi-annual basis. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
All right, thank you, Mr. Trudgeon. Questions from the council? Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes, if you have a address that's listed twice, does that mean there are two different types of delinquent
Yes,
accounts?
yes, they must be. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
there's a couple examples of that
Yes,
in there.
yes, okay. So what, like, one might be
Water,
water
it
and
might
one
be
might...
sewer.
Yes, okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Other questions from the council?
Just a comment, there is a
Councilmember Graf.
penalty for doing this because there's some cost to the city, so we do have a charge.
Correct. And people do have I believe people do have the ability to prepay their, these types of charges before their tax payment if they choose to, if I remember right. I think there's that option. At the
Yeah,
county.
I'm not sure how that would exactly work at the county, but the list that you have in there is delinquent as of April, and so
Right.
anything we received before May 8th would not be certified.
Right, exactly.
So once it's notified, they might go down there and pay, or might pay us, I should say.
Right. All right, this is a public hearing. We'll open it up for anyone from the public to speak to this item this evening and any of these items or any of these delinquent charges that are being certified to the county. We'll open up for public comment. Is there anyone here from the public to speak to this item this evening? Does not appear to be the case. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing, and once again, we've got the resolution to adopt and certify the resolution to adopt, which will certify those unpaid charges.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Schroeder, seconded by Councilmember Groff to adopt the resolution certifying those charges to the county for payment with property taxes. Discussion on the motion. Councilmember Schroeder, Councilmember Groff is the seconder.
Just if you paid them on time, you could save some money, so keep that in mind. Don't use this as a way of paying your bills.
Other discussion on the motion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously 4-0. Those charges are certified. We did, as noted before, have item 7B removed from the agenda this evening because all of those property violations have been dealt with. Item 7C is a state statute required report. On our previous meeting, we had a closed session to conduct the performance review of the city manager, and that is something that we do on an annual basis. And by state law, that can be a closed meeting, although it can be open at the choice of the person receiving the review. Mr. Trudgeon did elect to have that conducted in a closed discussion. But the state law does require the council to report on the results of that review. And I can say that we do a pretty thorough effort of gathering information on the city manager's performance. We receive feedback from I believe all of his direct reports in the city organization. We receive feedback from the city council members who interact with Mr. Trudgeon on a very routine basis as part of our business and conducting the city's business. And certainly feedback, I believe we received even some feedback from members of the community via emails over the course of the last few months here, and certainly shortly before the review. But I can report that we have received very positive feedback on the job and provided, I would say, very positive feedback on the job that Mr. Trudgeon has done for the city over the last year. This has been a very trying 12 months for this organization, especially if we include the first couple of months of this year. And there were pretty universal, especially from a staff and council perspective, observations of Mr. Trudgeon handling those difficult times well, and we're helping to move the city through it. And I think that that overall that continues to get very high ratings from everybody who works with him and engages with him, with few exceptions, I would say. And as a result of that review, we did authorize Mr. Trudgeon to receive his step increase for this year, as well as he and all the city employees do receive cost of living adjustment as well. And we look forward to more years of service from Mr. Trudgeon, and he seems to be willing to do that. So far, so good. And so just wanted to make that report. We also, on the agenda later in our consent agenda, will have an opportunity to act on and approve Mr. Trudgeon's goals for the next year, which have been worked through with our subcommittee, which consists of Councilmember Schroeder and Councilmember Bauer, who worked extensively with Mr. Trudgeon through this process, and the development of those goals, which were also considered by the council during our discussion at that closed session. And the council will have an opportunity to approve those as part of the consent agenda this evening. And I'll just open it up if there's anyone else on the council that wanted to add anything to that report. Totally optional.
I just wanted to thank Councilmember Bauer and Councilmember Schroeder for their work, because it was a very thorough process, and it helped the council in general in reviewing it quickly and efficiently, and it was really appreciated. Thank you.
All right. And just adding to that, thanks to all the staff that participated as well in the survey process. And there was one thing as you were saying that I wanted to make sure and mention, and now I've completely forgotten what it was, so it must have been extremely important. But with that, thank you again, Mr. Trudgeon, for another great year of service to the community, and looking forward to more. And I don't know if you've got anything you'd like to say.
Not really. I do appreciate the feedback from all of you from the department. It really makes me a better city manager, so I really do appreciate that. And just honored to continue to serve as city manager for Roseville. So thank you for that opportunity. Continue to like the job and cherish the job, and want to continue doing it for as long as I can.
All right, thank you. The only other thing I did remember what I was going to say now, which was the very, very important comment to say that city managers, including Mr. Trudgeon, have the challenge that they have 5 bosses, and only in fiction does that usually happen. But it's true of city managers and city administrators in cities across the state, and actually some have 7 bosses. So we know what kind of challenge that can be. And I think Mr. Trudgeon handles that with aplomb, and that is also appreciated. With that, then, there's nothing further on that item, no action from the council, other than, like I said, we've got the consent item later on for approval of the goals. Next on our agenda, then, is consideration of our meeting minutes from our May 4th council meeting. Those minutes were distributed to the council prior to this evening, and feedback was provided to staff, which has been incorporated into the draft under our consideration this evening. Are there any other changes or corrections to the minutes from the May 4th meeting, or a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Schroeder, seconded by Councilmember Bauer to approve those minutes from our May 4th meeting as presented. Is there any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye opposed. That passes unanimously. Those minutes are approved. That brings us then to the aforementioned consent agenda, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Trudgeon to give us a brief description of those items.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Agenda item 10A approves payments in the amount of $1,704,183.14. Item 10B approves renewal of a 2 a.m. liquor license for the Doubletree Hotel in Roseville. Agenda item 10C approves a temporary gambling permit for the Rosetown American Legion Auxiliary 542 for a raffle to be held on September 20th. Agenda item 10D approves the issuance of a gambling premises permit to Roseville Area Youth Hockey Association to conduct lawful gambling activities at the Roseville VFW. Item 10E approves an expenditure to repair the Langton Lake Boardwalk that was damaged due to during trail sweeping. A Lucas chest compressor for the fire department to provide automated CPR during cardiac arrest calls, and expenditures for the resurfacing of tennis courts at Autumn Grove, Sandcastle, and Howard Johnson Parks. And finally, an expenditure for the structure repairs of various sewer catch basins. Agenda item 10F approves entering into a professional services agreement with American Engineering Testing for construction and materials testing as part of the Hamlin Avenue Street project. Agenda item 10G approves entering into a professional services agreement, again with American Engineering Testing for construction materials testing as part of the 2026 pavement management project. I would mention that both of those projects were competitively bid, and American Engineering had the lowest bid. Agenda item 10H approves a resolution awarding the 2026 pavement management contract to Bituminous Roadways, and once again, that was competitively bid. Agenda item 10I approves entering into a cooperative cost share and maintenance agreement with Ramsey County for the County Road C project between Lexington and Rice Street. Agenda item 10J approves an agreement with HKGI for planning and design services for concept and feasibility planning for the nature playground at the Harriet Alexander Nature Center. Agenda item 10K approves entering into a house burn training agreement with the property owner at 1015 County Road B2. Agenda item 10L approves a grant application with the U.S. Department of Justice for 3-year funding for civilian investigative aid in the police department. And then finally, Agenda 10M approves the city manager goals for 2026 and 27. And that is the consent agenda.
All right, thank you, Mr. Trudgeon. Is there a motion on the consent items?
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Schroeder, seconded by Councilmember Groff to approve those items. Any discussion on the motion? I did just want to note on item H, which is the pavement management project, the prices, the low bid was still about $400,000 plus over the engineer's estimate. I did check in with the city's public works staff this evening, or this afternoon, I guess it was, before the meeting this evening, and the two big contributing factors were cost of imported oil products, which affects asphalt pricing, then also as well as some of the incidental costs associated with those projects. So I just wanted to note that it looks like we'll be having to adjust our estimates for our road and pathway projects going forward because of those higher oil prices. That's all I had as far as comments. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor of approving those consent items signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed. That passes unanimously 4-0. Those items are approved. And Mr. Trudgeon, the future agenda items.
All right, so we got through May here. We have a little bit of break. Obviously, next Monday is Memorial Day, but our next meeting is June 8th. We have some busy meetings here in June. We'll consider the Willow Pond Environmental Assessment Worksheet approval as part of that dredging project for Willow Pond. We also hope to be considering the purchase agreement with the VFW related to the Civic Campus project. This is acquisition of part of their property, their parking lot property. We will also receive an update on the Autumn Grove playground planning process, and we'll have 2 items that are related, but something that you've talked about a lot in the past: the Aldine right-of-way trail report. We had a consultant look at the possibility of a trail. At the same meeting, we'll also consider the petition to vacate the Aldine right-of-way. On June 15th, we plan to have a joint meeting with the Finance Commission, looking to have a presentation from Commissioner Mary Jo McGuire, Ramsey County Commissioner. That still might move here a little bit, so I'm still working through that. Looks like we have a minor plat at 2816 Oxford Street, basically a lot split. We also want to have a presentation and have the City Council consider approval of the city campus concept plans. And then finally, receive a presentation from our finance director of the popular financial report, something new that we're introducing this year. So those are the 2 meetings. We only have 2 meetings in June. As you know, we have Rose Fest coming on. As you can see, the June event's June 13th. Obviously, Juneteenth celebration. We have some Discovery of Parks. But Rose Fest is the 22nd to the 28th with the parade on June 22nd at 6:15. And as we get closer to that, I'll give you all the information so you know where to line up and do what you need to do for that night. But very busy week there at the end of June. And then we have 3 Mondays where we have meetings in July. That July 13th meeting, even though we have an EDA meeting, we do probably need to conduct some business there. We still want to meet in a work session and come follow up with the council on the budget and department budget presentation, so it'll be a little less formal than normal. But more to come on that as we get closer to that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Trudgeon. Are there any questions from the council on upcoming agendas or council reports, communications, announcements, or requested agenda items for future meetings?
Well,
Catch-all.
The Saturday event was a success at the park at McCarran's.
Community in Bloom at Rice and
Yes,
Lavender. Yes.
that was a good event.
Very nice. Other than that, no, I don't have anything else.
All right. With that, then, the only other item of business we have this evening is adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
been moved by Councilmember Groff, seconded by Councilmember Bauer to adjourn. There is no discussion on a motion to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously, and we're adjourned at 6:55 PM. Thank you, everyone.